I thank the chairman. I thank all the witnesses for being here. Mr. Rosenberg, you explained the tragic loss of your son. If I remember correctly, there were obstacles to the removal of the criminal alien who unfortunately killed your son, and was not the current secretary at that point, Secretary Mayorkas, at that point in the Obama administration. And can you characterize his help or lack of help in ensuring the both prosecution and or deportation of the individual in question?
Well, I didn't know of his involvement at the time, but after the trial and Roberto Gallo was sentenced to 6 months in jail, I met with my congressman, Henry Waxman at the time, and said, I want to make sure this guy is detained and deported. He had somebody write a letter to USCIS, of which Mayorkas was the head of at the time, and he got back a letter that said that Gallo would not be detained or deported because, and this is an exact quote, he's only committed one crime of moral turpitude. And as I learned later on, that was, and as we see today, that's Mayorkas' policy. Killing somebody doesn't necessarily reach the level to be deported.
So the current Secretary of Homeland Security felt that it was not something that merited deportation because he had, quote, only had one crime of moral turpitude.
Yes.
One crime.
Yes.
Does that one crime mean a lot to your family, sir?
Means everything to my family.
Do you think such a statement and a position is befitting of someone who swears an oath to uphold the laws of the United States, whether it was in a position in USCIS under President Obama or now as secretary of a department charged with securing the homeland of the United States?
Well, myself and our group was against his even being appointed. I did get to meet him in 2014. At the time, I still didn't know that he was, part of what happened, in my son's case. And he lied to me constantly. I mean, the one thing you learn when you're in publishing is ask somebody questions that you know the answer to, and if they lie, you'll know they're lying.
So I'm interested in that perspective because the Secretary of Homeland Security lied to me in this very room when he said under oath that, quote, we have operational control of the border. He then went on to testify in the United States Senate that, quote, well, we can't have operational control of the border under that definition in the Secure Fence Act. And at the same time, Raul Ortiz testified that, in fact, we do not have operational control of the border. Do you think it is a problem for the Secretary of Homeland Security to come into this room, into the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee, and lie about maintaining operational control of the border?
Not only do I think it's a problem, I certainly think, it's that he should no longer be in office.
I think countless Americans share that view, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your testimony. Mr. Fabricatori, we first got to know each other when I was in Denver, Colorado, around the time that the ICE facility was being unfortunately ransacked and a flag being turned upside, the American flag being turned upside down. I appreciate your service in ICE. Do these numbers sound correct to you, that between FY18 and FY22, that for ICE, there's been a 69% decline in overall civil ICE arrests, 65% decline in convicted criminals, 26% homicide-related, 53% reduction in weapons offenses, 33% reduction in sexual offense and sexual assault, 58% reduction in assault, 50% robbery, 40% kidnapping, 61% family offense. Is ICE able to do its job under the Biden administration today?
No, they're not able to do their job, and the statistics bear that out.
Can you explain to the United States, the people of the United States, why?
It's the priorities that this administration has put forth. It's limiting what ICE officers can do. It's limiting the Border Patrol agents. Right now we have so many people entering that they're just showing up at the ICE offices, and ICE officers are just basically processing. They're not out on the street making arrests. So these arrest numbers are going to be down. And under these priorities, it's only going to get worse.
And the consequence is dead Americans, the consequence is dead migrants, the consequence is tons of fentanyl pouring into the United States, and it's a direct consequence of the policies chosen to be enacted by the President of the United States and his Secretary of Homeland Security. Do you agree, sir?
I agree, sir.
Thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Mr. Correa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to welcome the witnesses. And Mr. Rosenberg, please accept my condolences for your loss. I'm also a father, and no father should ever